"You won't believe what just happened between Marsau Scott and Kimmie on Love Marriage, Huntsville." What started as a simple talk quickly turned into something no one expected. It all began when Kimmie opened up about her struggle as something she rarely does on camera. She was being real, sharing what she's been going through mentally and emotionally. But instead of showing support, Marsau hit her with a response that shocked everyone. He wasn't just dismissive, he was downright cold. And this wasn't just an awkward moment between cast members. The way Marsau reacted had real consequences. It made people question how he truly sees Kimmie and, even more, how he deals with conversations about mental health. Fans noticed everything: the tension, the body language, the tone. It all pointed to something much deeper than just a disagreement. And let me tell you, this wasn't just a regular argument. It was personal, intense, and honestly, a little unsettling. Kimmie and Marsau were sitting down, having what seemed like a normal conversation. It wasn't heated, it wasn't confrontational, just two people talking. Kimmie was opening up about her struggles, something that took a lot of courage. She wasn't looking for pity or trying to start drama, she was simply sharing what she had been going through. But then Marsau said something that completely changed the mood. The energy in the room shifted instantly. What started as an open discussion suddenly became uncomfortable. Marsau didn't just disagree with Kimmie, he dismissed her entirely. His words were sharp, almost like he didn't realize how serious her feelings were. Instead of listening or showing understanding, he downplayed everything she said. His tone was cold, and his body language was completely disconnected. That's what made this moment so unsettling. It wasn't just that Marsau disagreed, it was how he disagreed. There was no empathy, no effort to understand Kimmie's point of view. It almost felt like he saw her feelings as an inconvenience. Now, Kimmie isn't the type to get caught up in unnecessary drama. She's usually one of the more level-headed cast members, someone who stays calm even in tough situations. But even she seemed shocked by Marsau's reaction. You could see it on her face. Her expression went from open and vulnerable to guarded and disappointed. And let's be real, this wasn't just about Marsau and Kimmie. The way he handled the conversation spoke volumes about how he views mental health, emotions, and even respect in relationships. But here's where it gets even more concerning. Kimmie wasn't the only one affected by this. As soon as the episode aired, viewers had a lot to say about Marsau's response. Some defended him, saying he's just blunt and doesn't sugarcoat things. To them, Marsau was just being Marsau, direct and unfiltered. But others were furious. They felt his reaction wasn't just dismissive, it was cruel. Many called him out for completely disregarding Kimmie's feelings, acting like her struggles didn't matter. Some even questioned whether he had any empathy at all. And this is where things got even bigger. Marsau's reaction didn't just spark debate about his behavior, it started a larger conversation about mental health and how people, especially in relationships, respond to emotional vulnerability. For many viewers, Kimmie's experience hit close to home. People who had been ignored, dismissed, or belittled for speaking about their struggles saw themselves in her. This wasn't just about two cast members disagreeing, it was about something much deeper. It highlighted how society still struggles to take mental health seriously, especially when it comes to Black women. The backlash was massive. People flooded Marsau's social media, calling him out for what they saw as a complete lack of sensitivity. Some even demanded that he address the situation and offer an explanation or better yet, an apology. But just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, things took an even crazier turn. As the backlash against Marsau Scott grew online, it wasn't just fans who had something to say. Behind the scenes, even some Love Marriage, Huntsville cast members were reportedly uncomfortable with how things played out. According to inside sources, tension started immediately after the episode aired. While some cast members are used to Marsau's blunt personality, this time felt different. The way he dismissed Kimmie's feelings didn't just seem harsh, it hit a nerve, especially with those who knew Kimmie personally and understood what she had been going through. One source claimed that a few cast members even pulled Marsau aside privately to express their concerns. They felt his words were too cold, too dismissive, and that he could have handled the conversation with more care. Some reportedly told him straight up that his reaction made them uncomfortable, and they could only imagine how Kimmie must have felt. And here's where it gets even more interesting. This situation has reportedly caused real friction within the cast. While disagreements and heated moments are common on the show, this time feels different because it's dealing with something personal. Some cast members are allegedly distancing themselves from Marsau, not wanting to be associated with the backlash. Even those who usually take his side in arguments are feeling uneasy about this one. They know the public is watching, and they don't want to seem insensitive to mental health struggles or dismissive of Kimmie's feelings. Now, here's where things take a turn, because if you thought Marsau might acknowledge the backlash and soften his stance, see a broken bar, well, that's not what happened. With all the controversy surrounding his comments, you'd think he might take a step back and reflect on how his words affected Kimmie and the viewers. Maybe issue a clarification, a soft apology, anything to ease the tension. Nope, instead of walking back his words, Marsau doubled down. He insisted he was just being honest and that people were overreacting. According to him, there was nothing wrong with how he responded to Kimmie, and if anything, he believes people are being too sensitive about the situation. And let's be real, this only made things worse. Instead of calming the backlash, his response fueled even more criticism. Fans felt like he was completely missing the point. The issue wasn't just what he said, it was how he said it, the tone, the lack of empathy, the refusal to acknowledge that his words may have been hurtful. It all made the situation messier. To make matters worse, when asked directly about the backlash, Marsau reportedly brushed it off, saying that people who don't know him personally shouldn't be judging his character. But that only frustrated fans more. They weren't questioning who he was as a persona, they were reacting to what they saw on screen. One person commented, "He just doesn't get it. People are calling him out because of what we saw on TV, not who he is off screen." Another added, "Marsau really thinks this is just about his personality. No, it's about the way he handled a vulnerable moment." So, where does Kimmie go from here? Sources close to her say that behind the scenes, she's deeply hurt by Marsau's comments. This wasn't just a simple disagreement, it was personal. And while Kimmie is known for her strength, many are worried about how this situation has affected her emotionally. She's been through a lot over the years. She's opened up about her struggles and the challenges in her personal life. So, for someone who has been that vulnerable, being dismissed like that hits harder than people might realize. According to reports, she's been taking time to process everything and reflect on how to move forward. It's clear she's not just brushing this off. But here's the thing, this situation isn't just about her anymore. His moment could have a lasting impact on the show's dynamics. With tension running high, could this change the relationships between the cast members? The fallout has already caused some division, with certain cast members quietly distancing themselves from Marsau because of his response. On the flip side, those who have stood by him might find themselves caught in the middle of this ongoing drama. As we move forward, things could shift in unexpected ways. Kimmie might find herself at a crossroads with certain cast members, or she could gain even more support from those who see how unfairly she's been treated. And here's the kicker, this trauma, it's far from over. At its core, this situation has sparked an important conversation about mental health, especially how it's addressed in relationships. The way people talk about mental health, or avoid talking about it, has real consequences, and unfortunately, Marsau's handling of Kimmie's situation is a perfect example of why these conversations need to be approached with care and respect. The truth is, mental health struggles are real. Dismissing them as being too sensitive or overreacting can be harmful, whether in relationships or everyday conversations. It's important to take a step back, listen, and show empathy. This situation has been a strong reminder of why we need to be more understanding, especially when it comes to the people we care about. So, what do you guys think? Was Marsau completely out of line, or do you think he had a point? Let's talk about it in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts on how he handled this and what you think Kimmie should do next. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next in Huntsville. There's even more drama unfolding, and I'll be right here to keep you updated. So hit that subscribe button and make sure you don't miss a single moment of the action. This situation has started an important conversation about mental health, especially how it's handled in relationships. The way people talk about mental health or avoid talking about it has real consequences. Unfortunately, Marsau's response to Kimmie is a clear example of why these discussions need to be handled with care and respect. Mental health struggles are real, and dismissing them as being sensitive or overreacting can be harmful, whether in relationships or everyday conversations. We all need to take a moment to listen, understand, and show empathy. This situation is a reminder of how important it is to approach these topics with kindness, especially when it comes to the people we care about. So, what do you think? Was Marsau completely out of line? Or do you think he had a point? Let's talk about it in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts on how he handled this and what Kimmie should do next. And trust me, the drama in Huntsville isn't over yet. Even more is unfolding, and I'll be right here to keep you updated. So hit that subscribe button and don't miss a single moment of the action.